Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! At 18, in his final year of high school, Alex stood in front of the full-length mirror in his sister's abandoned room, the late afternoon sunlight filtering through the curtains and casting a warm glow on the auburn strands of his hair that fell just past his shoulders. He had let it grow out over the past year, claiming it was for a band look, but really, it was for moments like this. The dress he wore was one of her favorites, a soft cotton sundress with delicate floral patterns that hugged his slender frame in a way that made him feel alive, feminine, yet undeniably himself, a femboy finding solace in the blend of identities. He twirled slightly, watching the skirt flare out, and applied a touch more eyeliner, the black line accentuating his hazel eyes. The house was silent, his parents at work until evening, giving him this precious window to explore without fear. For weeks, this had become his ritual. It started innocently enough, rummaging through the boxes of clothes his sister left behind when she moved out for college. At first, it was curiosity, a pair of stockings that felt smooth against his skin, a blouse that draped elegantly, but soon it evolved into something deeper, a way to escape the rigid expectations of being the only son in a family that prized traditional roles. Makeup tutorials on his phone guided his hands, teaching him to blend foundations seamlessly, to curl his lashes for that wide-eyed innocence. The soft fabrics against his body brought a peace he couldn't find elsewhere, a secret haven where he could be Alexa, the girl version of himself that lived in his dreams. He glanced at the clock. Still plenty of time before anyone came home. He slipped on a pair of low heels, practicing his walk across the room, the click-clack echoing softly on the hardwood floor. In these moments, he imagined a world where this wasn't hidden, where he could step out as he was, auburn hair swaying, skirt swishing with each step. But reality always crept back in. He knew the risks, the judgments that might follow. Still, for now, it was his alone. Downstairs, he moved to the kitchen, feeling bold in his attire. He poured himself a glass of water, sipping it while leaning against the counter, the dress's hem brushing his knees. He thought about his sister, Emily, how she used to tease him about his sensitive nature, calling him her little brother who was more in touch with emotions than most boys. If only she knew how right she was. He set the glass down and headed back upstairs, planning to change soon, but first, one more look in the mirror to savor the transformation. The front door clicked open unexpectedly, keys jingling in the lock. Alex froze at the top of the stairs, heart pounding. His parents weren't due back for hours. Something must have happened at work. Panic surged through him as he heard their voices, his mother's laughter mixing with his father's gruff commentary on the traffic. There was no time to dash to his room, no chance to scrub off the makeup or shed the dress. He stood there, exposed, as they entered the foyer and looked up. "Alex? Is that... what on earth?" His mother's voice trailed off, her eyes widening as she dropped her purse. His father stood beside her, brow furrowing in confusion, then shock.
"I can explain,"
Alex stammered, his voice barely above a whisper, cheeks flushing under the blush he had carefully applied. The skirt felt suddenly too short, the eyeliner too bold. What had been his safe space now felt like a trap. His parents exchanged glances, the air thick with unspoken questions. His mother, Sarah, stepped forward first, her expression a mix of concern and bewilderment. Honey, come down here. Let's talk about this. Her tone was gentle, the way it always was when he was upset as a child, but there was an undercurrent of something else. Worry, perhaps. His father, Mark, remained silent for a moment, rubbing his chin.
Son, what's going on? Are you dressing like that for some reason?
There was no anger in his voice, just a puzzled tone that made Alex's stomach twist. Descending the stairs slowly, Alex felt every step amplify his vulnerability. The heels made him wobble slightly, and he kicked them off at the bottom, standing barefoot in the dress.
It's something I've been doing when you're not home.
I like how it feels. It's not hurting anyone. He avoided their eyes, staring at the floor, his auburn hair falling forward like a curtain. Sarah reached out, touching his arm lightly. Okay, let's sit in the living room. Mark, why don't you make some tea? We all need to calm down. She guided Alex to the couch, where he sat gingerly, smoothing the skirt over his legs. As Mark busied himself in the kitchen, Sarah turned to her son. How long has this been going on, Alex? And why didn't you tell us? Her eyes searched his face, noting the makeup, the careful application that spoke of practice.
A few weeks, mostly. But I've thought about it longer.
I feel like myself this way, Mom. Like a femboy. It's not that I want to be a girl all the time, but dressing like this, it just fits. He finally met her gaze, seeing the surprise soften into something resembling understanding. Mark returned with mugs of tea, handing one to each of them. He sat in the armchair across from them, sipping thoughtfully. I don't get it, kid. You're a boy. We've raised you that way. Is this some phase or... His words weren't harsh, but they carried the weight of expectation. Alex took a deep breath, the steam from the tea warming his face. It's not a phase, Dad. It's part of who I am. I didn't choose it. It just is. I was scared you'd be mad or disappointed. The conversation stretched into the evening, the initial shock giving way to questions. Sarah asked about where he got the clothes. Emily's old ones, he explained, and if he was safe, if anyone else knew. Mark listened mostly, interjecting with concerns about school, about how others might react if they found out.
The world's not always kind to people who are different,
he said, his voice gruff but caring. As the sun set, casting long shadows through the windows, Alex felt a tentative relief. They hadn't yelled, hadn't rejected him outright. Sarah even suggested they look into some resources, maybe talk to a counselor who specialized in gender expression. We love you, Alex, no matter what, she said, pulling him into a hug, the fabric of the dress crinkling between them. But Mark's face still held reservations.
Just take it slow, okay? We need time to process this.
He patted Alex's shoulder awkwardly, then excused himself to the garage, where he often tinkered with projects to clear his mind. That night, as Alex changed back into his regular clothes, jeans and a t-shirt, he stared at his reflection, the auburn hair still framing his face, remnants of eyeliner smudged but not fully removed. The secret was out, and while it hadn't shattered everything, it had changed the air in the house. He lay in bed, wondering what tomorrow would bring, if school would feel different now that his parents knew. The next morning dawned bright, and Alex woke to the smell of pancakes. Downstairs, Sarah was in the kitchen, flipping them with a smile. Good morning, sweetie. I thought we'd have a nice breakfast before school. Mark was already at the table, reading the newspaper, but he looked up and nodded.
Morning, son.
Alex sat down, feeling the normalcy like a fragile bubble. They ate in relative quiet, the conversation light, about the weather, about his upcoming exams. But as he finished, Sarah cleared her throat. "Alex, about last night, your father and I talked. We want to support you, but we also want you to be careful. Maybe keep this at home for now?" He nodded, understanding the caution. "Yeah, I get it. Thanks for not freaking out." Relief washed over him again, mingled with a spark of hope. Perhaps this could be the start of something better. At school, the day dragged on as usual. Alex sat in math class, scribbling notes, his mind wandering back to the dress folded neatly in his closet. His auburn hair caught the light from the window, and he tucked a strand behind his ear, a gesture that felt more natural now. Friends chatted around him, oblivious to the turmoil of the previous evening. During lunch, he joined his best friend, Jamie, at their usual table. "Hey man, you look spaced out. Everything okay?" Jamie asked, munching on a sandwich. "Yeah, just family stuff," Alex replied, forcing a smile. He couldn't share yet. It was too fresh. But the weight on his chest had lightened slightly, knowing his parents were trying. After school, Alex walked home, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot. The house was empty again, parents back at work, and he hesitated at the door. Should he indulge in his routine? The memory of getting caught was still vivid, but the acceptance from last night emboldened him. He headed upstairs, selecting a different outfit, a blouse and skirt combo, soft and flowing. As he applied lipstick, he heard the door open again. This time, it was Emily, home unexpectedly for the weekend. "You here?" Her voice called from below. Panic flared, but less intensely than before. He wiped the lipstick off quickly, but didn't change. Maybe it was time to tell her, too. Descending the stairs, he saw her surprise mirror their parents. "Wow, little bro. Or should I say, sis. Looking good with that auburn hair." Emily grinned, dropping her bag. "Mom texted me something was up." "Spill." They sat on the couch, and Alex explained everything. The routine, the feelings, the femboy identity. Emily listened, nodding. "I always knew you were special. Remember when we played dress up as kids? You loved it more than I did." She laughed, pulling him into a side hug. "I'm proud of you for exploring this." Her support felt like a balm, and they spent the afternoon talking. She shared stories from college, about friends who were non-binary or trans, normalizing it for him. "You should come visit sometime. Meet people who get it." When their parents returned, the house filled with a new energy. Emily's presence bridged the gaps, and dinner became a family discussion. Mark admitted his initial confusion stemmed from fear for Alex's safety, not disapproval. Sarah suggested shopping for some clothes that were truly his, not hand-me-downs.
"If this is you, let's make it comfortable."
Alex's heart swelled. For the first time, he felt seen. That evening, as they watched a movie together, he lounged in casual boy clothes, but the acceptance lingered like a promise. Over the following days, life settled into a new rhythm. Alex continued his explorations at home, sometimes with Emily's input on makeup techniques before she returned to school. He grew more confident, letting his auburn hair stay styled in softer waves, even at school. Whispers started among classmates. Nothing overt, but he noticed glances. One afternoon, after a particularly grueling history test, Alex confided in Jamie during their walk home. "Dude, there's something I need to tell you. I've been dressing in girls' clothes at home. It's like, I'm a femboy. Makes me feel right." Jamie stopped walking, eyes wide. "Whoa, really? That's Cool, I guess. As long as you're happy, man. Just be careful, you know? Some kids here are jerks. The warning proved prescient. The next week, rumors spread like wildfire. Someone had overheard, or perhaps seen him through a window. Alex wasn't sure. In the hallways, snickers followed him, and during gym class, a group of boys cornered him in the locker room. Hey, Alex, heard you're playing dress up. Gonna wear a skirt to prom? The leader, a burly kid named Tyler, sneered, his friends laughing. Alex's face burned, but he stood tall, auburn hair falling into his eyes. It's none of your business. Back off. Tyler shoved him lightly. Freak! The coach intervened before it escalated, but the damage was done. Alex skipped the rest of the day, heading home early, tears stinging his eyes. Sarah was there, having taken the afternoon off. She saw his distress and pulled the story out of him. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. We'll talk to the school. That evening, the family convened again. Mark, usually reserved, spoke up. No one's bullying my kid. I'll go with you tomorrow, Sarah. Alex, you don't have to hide who you are.
But we'll protect you.
Grateful, Alex nodded. The support fortified him, and he decided to push forward. He started incorporating subtle elements into his daily look. A touch of clear gloss on his lips, nails painted a neutral shade. His auburn hair became a point of pride, often tied back with a ribbon. Weekend arrived, and Emily called with an idea. There's a support group in the city for LGBTQ+ youth. Want to check it out? Mom and Dad can drive us. They agreed, and the drive there was filled with nervous chatter. The group met in a community center, a circle of teens sharing stories. Alex listened, then spoke tentatively. Hi, I'm Alex. I like dressing as a girl sometimes. I'm a femboy. My family just found out and it's been...
Okay, mostly.
The group welcomed him, sharing similar experiences. One girl with short hair talked about her journey. Another boy described his love for makeup. Alex felt a sense of belonging, his auburn hair blending into the colorful crowd. Back home, inspired, he experimented more. He tried a full outfit for a family outing to the park. Nothing flashy, just a skirt and top. Sarah walked beside him, Mark a step behind, ready to deflect any stares. A few people glanced, but no one commented. Alex felt empowered, the wind tousling his auburn locks. School improved slightly after his parents' meeting with the principal. Tyler was warned, and the rumors died down. Alex even found an ally in a quiet girl named Lena, who approached him in art class.
I think it's brave, what you're doing. Your hair looks great, by the way. That auburn color suits you. They became friends, bonding over sketches and shared interests. Lena introduced him to online communities, where femboys shared tips and encouragement. Alex's world expanded, his secret routine evolving into an open part of his life. One evening, as he prepared for bed, the phone rang. It was Jamie, sounding urgent. Alex, there's something going on. Tyler and his crew are planning to mess with you tomorrow. I overheard them in the parking lot. Be careful. Alex's pulse quickened. He told his parents, who promised to handle it. But as he lay in the dark, auburn hair splayed on the pillow, doubt crept in. Was this the start of real trouble? The next day at school, tension hung in the air. Alex navigated the halls cautiously, sticking close to Lena and Jamie. During lunch, Tyler approached their table, a smirk on his face. Hey, princess, got a surprise for you after school. Before Alex could respond, the principal appeared, having been tipped off. Tyler was escorted away, but his words lingered like a threat.
As the bell rang for the end of the day, Alex gathered his things, heart racing. Outside, he saw a group waiting near the gates. Tyler's friends, looking agitated. Jamie grabbed his arm. "Let's go the back way." They hurried, but footsteps followed. Alex glanced back, seeing them closing in.
"What do you want?"
he called, voice steady despite the fear. The leader stepped forward.
"Just want to talk, Femboy, about your little hobby."
Sarah's car pulled up unexpectedly. She'd come early. "Alex, get in!" she shouted. He dashed to the vehicle, slamming the door as the group scattered. Safe inside, he exhaled, but the encounter shook him. "Thanks, Mom. That was close." At home, Mark paced the living room. "This has to stop. Maybe we need to consider homeschooling or transferring schools." Alex shook his head. "No, Dad. I won't run. This is me." The discussion heated, emotions high. Emily arrived later, adding her voice. "He needs to fight this, but safely." As night fell, Alex sat alone in his room, slipping into a comfortable nightdress for comfort. He brushed his auburn hair, staring at his reflection. The journey had brought acceptance from his family, new friends, but also challenges. What would tomorrow bring? A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Mark, holding a small box.
"Son, I got you something. For protection, just in case."
Inside was a pepper spray keychain.
"But use it wisely,"
Mark said. Yet, as he drifted to sleep, a text buzzed on his phone from an unknown number.
"This isn't over, freak."
The words chilled him, leaving him wondering if his world was about to unravel further. Weeks turned into months, and Alex's confidence grew despite the setbacks. He attended more group meetings, making friends who understood his femboy identity. One, named Riley, shared tips on styling auburn hair to enhance feminine features without overdoing it. They exchanged numbers, planning a hangout. At home, Sarah helped him curate a wardrobe, shopping online for skirts and blouses that fit his style. "This one would look lovely with your hair," she'd say, holding up a piece. Mark, though slower to adapt, joined in occasionally, even complimenting an outfit once. "You pull it off, kid." School remained a battleground, but with allies like Lena and Jamie, Alex navigated it. He joined the art club, where creativity flourished, and his drawings often featured figures blending genders, auburn-haired protagonists in flowing dresses. One weekend, the family planned a trip to the beach. Alex packed both boy and girl clothes, opting for a swimsuit with a sarong for the first day. Walking along the shore, waves lapping at his feet, he felt free, the sun warming his skin. Strangers glanced but said nothing negative. A few even smiled. Emily, splashing in the water, called him over. "Come on, Alexa! The water's great!" It was the first time she'd used the name aloud, and it felt right. Back at the hotel, they gathered for dinner. Mark raised a glass. "To our family, and to Alex being himself." The toast warmed Alex's heart, but shadows lingered. Back home, another incident occurred, a note left in his locker. "Watch your back." He reported it, but the anonymity frustrated everyone. Determined, Alex decided to speak at a school assembly on diversity. With the counselor's help, he prepared. Standing on stage, auburn hair neatly styled, he shared his story. "I dress as a girl sometimes because it makes me happy. It's not about hurting anyone. It's about being true to myself." The audience was mixed. Some applauded, others whispered. Tyler, suspended earlier, wasn't there, but his influence persisted. Afterward, positive messages flooded in from classmates he'd never spoken to. "You're inspiring," one said. Lena hugged him. "That took guts." Yet, as he walked home that day, a car slowed beside him. The window rolled down, revealing a face he didn't recognize. "Nice speech, kid, but not everyone's a fan." The car sped off, leaving Alex unsettled. That night, the family discussed options again. "Maybe it's time for a change," Sarah suggested. "A new school where you can start fresh." Alex pondered it, brushing his auburn hair before bed. He loved his life now, the freedom, but the threats weighed heavy. As he lay down, another text arrived.
"Meet me tomorrow, or else."
The unknown sender left him staring at the screen, heart pounding, wondering if confrontation was inevitable or if escape was the only way. The following morning, Alex woke with resolve. He chose an outfit that blended his worlds, a skirt with a band t-shirt, auburn hair in loose waves. At breakfast, he told his parents about the text. Mark insisted on going to the police, but Alex wanted to handle it his way first. At school, he confided in the counselor, who alerted authorities. The day passed tensely, every shadow making him jump. During free period, he met Riley from the group in a cafe near school. They'd planned it earlier. Riley, with their own experiences, offered advice. "Don't let them dim your light. Your auburn hair is like a beacon." Encouraged, Alex returned for afternoon classes. As the final bell rang, he spotted a figure waiting by his locker. Tyler, back from suspension, looking smug. Alex asked, voice firm. Tyler leaned in. "To end this, you're making the school a joke." Before Alex could reply, Jamie and Lena appeared, phones out, recording. "Back off, Tyler. This is harassment." The confrontation drew a crowd, teachers intervening. Tyler was dragged away again, this time with promises of expulsion. Relief flooded Alex as he headed home, but the victory felt hollow. That evening, the police visited, taking statements. "We'll investigate the texts," they assured. Family dinner was subdued, pride mixed with worry. Emily called, cheering him on. "You're a warrior, bro!" As days passed, normalcy returned. Alex explored more, trying new makeup looks, his auburn hair a constant in every style. He started a blog anonymously, sharing Femboy experiences, gaining followers. One weekend, they attended a pride event in the city. Booths lined the streets, music blaring. Alex, in a full dress, walked hand in hand with his family. Strangers complimented his look, one saying, "That auburn hair pops!" He met more people, exchanging stories. Riley was there, introducing him to a circle of friends. For hours, he danced and laughed, feeling truly accepted. But on the drive home, Mark's phone rang. An unknown caller. "Is this Alex's dad? Tell him to stop, or there'll be consequences." The line went dead. The family froze. Sarah gripped the wheel. This is getting serious. Alex's mind raced. Who was behind it? Tyler? Someone else? As they pulled into the driveway, lights off in the house, a figure emerged from the shadows near the porch, face obscured. "Alex," the voice said, low and menacing. "We need to talk." Heart in his throat, Alex stepped out, his auburn hair catching the moonlight. Who was this person, and what did they want? The night air thickened with uncertainty, leaving everything hanging in the balance. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.